Today we've got a favor from Gibson for both Cooper and myself. It's a blast from the past, the 1934 Jumbo that started it all. Stick around. Hey, you're watching Alamo Music TV. My name is Chris McKee.
And I'm Cooper Greenberg.
We're here with Alamo Music Center in San Antonio, Texas. You can find us online at alamomusic.com. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, turn on notifications, like our videos. If you want to support the channel, visit our spring store link below for custom swag. And check out our podcast, the Fretboard Confessional, wherever you get your podcasts. So I love kind of the historic collection from Gibson in the Custom Shop with their acoustics.
Oh, yeah.
Their electrics too. I think that Gibson Custom Shop puts out some of the best stuff around. And this is similar to a guitar that we'd had in the store. You weren't officially here yet at the time, right?
Yeah, I think it was very early on. I started off here, I was just making videos with Chris, and then, I sat at the front desk with Ted, and this was around the front desk time.
Yeah.
Because I remember one time I was playing that guitar, and I was sitting around doing nothing up at the front except playing the guitar, and Chris came by and said, "Oh, you really are learning from Ted." So I learned well, yeah. But yeah, I love that guitar. It was a custom shop. I think it was a 42 Banner J45.
It was, yeah.
Blew my mind. I loved the finish, the look, the tone especially was the big thing. But gives me flashbacks, a little bit different, but I love the sound just as much on this one.
Yeah, this is a phenomenal guitar. So this is a Gibson Historic Custom Shop 1934 Jumbo. So it's not a J45. It's really the precursor to the J45. And there's a lot to love about this guitar. I was excited when we ordered these just because of the unique aspects to this. I like the straight bridge. I like the long saddle that's in it. The finish is even its kind of own unique thing. If you compare on Gibson's website and their catalog kind of what's available, still off-gassing the nitro. The burst on this is kind of this really centered, very focused, darker looking guitar. But the specifications and the things that make this a little different and harken back to its past all kind of make this just a phenomenal acoustic guitar. And there are guitars in the shop that we have that are extremely beautiful guitars. And then you have something like this that's really understated. And I will often go, that's the best guitar. And some people kind of maybe think that one means the other. If it's something really pretty, it's going to be a pretty guitar. That's not always the case. Sometimes something very simplistic like this is just the chef's kiss.
Yeah, it's all about the sound at the end of the day. And this one, unique feel based on all the modern type stuff that Gibson makes, even in the original collection. This is wildly different than an original 50s J45 or something. It's a big guy. It ain't no SJ in terms of this way,
but it is a jumbo.
Definitely a jumbo that way. And I've heard from a lot of people that it's actually the girth of it that matters more when it comes to the sound. There we go. You knew it was coming.
I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
Well, so I'm going to guess that it's just under 5 inches for reference. So the guitar. So it is a deeper body. And one of the things that we notice right off the bat is that we'll jump into all the specifications on this guitar, but it is your classical, kind of J45 or that jumbo shape from Gibson with the slope or rounded shoulder of what we've come to call a round shoulder dreadnought. Gibson lists as a jumbo, and they invented it, so they can call it whatever they want. But this is deeper than a J45 or Southern jumbo typically would. And to emphasize again, this is where it started. 34 was the very first year of these guitars, and they only made them for 2 years and kind of revamped it a little bit. But this is the blueprint from whence everything else came.
So did it go jumbo, advanced jumbo, J45?
Well, the advanced jumbo I think was, I think it was something kind of like that. And then the J45 landed based upon, from what I understand, the price, which I think is ridiculous. But then they've kept that nomenclature going forward. So let's talk about specifications on this and why it sounds so amazingly good. So jumbo body, we already said, it's deeper body than what you would typically see. And just like we did with our recent Martin exclusive, a deep body can really add a lot
totally.
of just depth to the sound, not just the guitar.
Yeah.
The top on this, thermally aged red spruce, also known as Adirondack.
So the thermally aged red spruce, is that this is going off the rails? Is that the same that was on the Sheryl Crow?
Yes.
Which I dig.
Yes.
And we've talked a lot about doing exclusives with Gibson, and hopefully 2024, that's when that'll, we'll get into it. It's something that we wanted to do for a long time, and I think both of us were like, if we're making something, that's going to be the top, which, I mean, it sounds great. I dig it. And then back and sides on this one?
It's mahogany, baby.
Wow.
Yep. Mahogany with a nice...
Who would have thought?
Nice burst. Yeah, mahogany and spruce.
That a nice spruce top and mahogany and a big old guitar would sound good.
And that you would like it.
Yeah. Classic.
So other things, though, that are happening kind of under the hood, it is using hot hide glue construction for the bracing, really for the guitar. Mm-hmm. It's what they would have used in 34. And generally speaking, particularly on a historically or traditionally designed acoustic guitar, I find it makes a difference. Now, people can argue all day long in the comments of, can you hear the difference between hide glue? Here's what I can tell you. Guitars that I've played from, say, like Martin or Gibson or Collings or Bourgeois or whatever that had hide glue were phenomenal guitars.
Yeah.
And maybe it's I don't ever think it's one silver bullet. It's the amalgamation of everything. But if you're going to take a thermally aged red spruce top and use hide glue bracing, there's something magical about it.
You're going to get something good.
Yeah.
A lot of free sound traveling.
There's some other unique aspects to this guitar in addition to the depth. It's got a V-shaped neck. Its finish, and we should talk about this, because this was an issue with the one that you and I loved when people would come up and look at it and just kind of not get it. It is not a perfect finish. It's got what in the finish industry would be called orange peel, which means that when you look at the nitro finish on this guitar, it's got kind of a little bit of a wave or bumpiness to it, and that's for a few reasons. One, it's because it's a very, very thin nitro finish, and so you're seeing some of the stuff coming through with the grain. But two, it's a hand-applied finish. It's not a sprayed-on finish. It's done the way they would have done it in 1934. And I think that makes for its own unique look. It's got this killer vintage aesthetic. It's got that kind of low sheen semi-gloss that we really dig. And most importantly, it's a good finish that's very, very thin. And so it doesn't inhibit the sound of the guitar. But a lot of people might look at that and go, there's something wrong with it. No, it's historically accurate, which is really where Gibson, they recently did this great video with Andertons behind the scenes at the Custom Shop, which was awesome. Good job to Gibson, one, for letting Andertons in there, and Lee and crew for just doing a great video. I really enjoyed it. But the thing that kept getting repeated over and over and over of why do we do it this way? It's because that's historically accurate.
Yeah.
That's how it was done. That's how we do it. So the finish is its own thing. The scale length on this is different from a J45.
What's the scale?
It's 25 inches. So it's a longer scale length, deeper body, and then has all of the other stuff we've talked about. Makes for a great guitar.
It does. The neck feels great. It's, not the same as those Authentics that we played recently, but it gives me the same feeling of this is the type of thing that a lot of people would be like, oh, I need a slim taper, super thin neck or whatever. But then you get your hands on this and it's
comfortable.
It's very comfortable, and it also kind of informs, like, the kind of whole feel of the guitar works really well from the deeper body, nice, not super thick, but nice substantial V-neck.
And we should have a basketball as reference for these videos. Yeah. Neither of us can palm a basketball, okay? So you don't need to have giant mittens to have a V-shaped kind of chunky neck.
Yeah.
And I was visiting with someone in the store the other day about this. For me, it was a Telly that did it. It was a 52 Telly years ago with a big U-shaped neck. And I had, in my mind, thought, like, on paper, I need a thin neck, and that's what I like. And then I picked up that guitar. I was like, this is awesome. And now a lot of my guitars have thick necks.
Yeah.
So
I dig it. Open gear Waverleys on that bad boy.
With the plastic pearlish
Plastique
buttons.
And the cool logo.
Yeah.
Old school logo.
The old school Gibson logo.
So if you see that and you say that doesn't look like the logo on a new J45, it must be a fake. No, it's not.
It's not.
It's just cooler. All right. But yeah, it feels great, very, very light, and it sounds great. So let's take a listen.
I know not everyone's going to agree with the statement, okay? But sometimes maybe the old ways are better.
What a radical statement in the guitar world.
You know, and it's funny because I'm not the biggest vintage guy. I do love certain vintage guitars. I think there's a lot of great ones. I think there's more bad ones out there. I think, you know, generally speaking, the physics are the same today as they were yesterday. You know, and outside of maybe the age of wood, what we have access to now is better than what they had access to then. That being said, I think some of the designs and the way things were built in the past were in a lot of ways superior, you know, and I think for certain brands like Gibson, like Martin, the thirst and desire for these older designs illustrate that.
Yeah. I really enjoy the fact that this is a 1934 that was not relict.
Yes.
That would be sacrilegious on this guitar to, you know, put some rough spots and pick marks and all that. I also think...
Tom Murphy would like to have a word with you.
Yeah, all right. Step in my lab. I think Gibson Custom Shop, all custom shops are expensive guitars. Mm-hmm. But I think the price on this one is kind of surprised me a little bit, and I think it's fair. I think it's good price point, always subject to change, but $49.99. And J45s are already expensive. Mm-hmm. SJ200s are expensive.
Yeah, it's not really that much of a leap in price. You know, and again, there's people that are going to go, well, I like the look of this better, and this isn't for everybody. I get that. There's no pickup in this, right? It doesn't come with that. And some people would wonder, since the lack of ornamentation, what are you paying for?
Yeah.
It's time. It's time that you're paying for. It's the hand applying a finish and thermally aging the spruce, and hide glue is a pain in the butt to work with.
Yeah.
In your woodworking, have you ever messed with hide glue? It's all tight bond?
But I have, it's all tight bond for me, but I have seen, say it like the Martin factory or something, the little pot.
It's always like this grody looking thing.
Looks like some Natural Bridge Caverns kind of thing. And yes, there's a reason why modern guitar making, typically they're using like wood glue, but there's also a reason why you look at any of these manufacturers and hide glue is always a huge upgrade in price, you know, jump in price, but an upgrade in kind of the quality of the guitar. And it's not like make or break, I gotta have hide glue, but like you said, we've played Modern Deluxes, Martin Custom Shops, Gibson Custom Shops. The hide glue stuff always just has, and it's partially, like you said, it's partially because all of the elements going into it are something really, you know, craftsman driven. But I think the hide glue stuff that we've played is fantastic. And
well, I think because the way hide glue works, you're taking advantage of the other changes that you make. And we've kind of touched on it, but hide glue dries in a crystalline fashion. It's kind of glass-like when it's done. And so it allows the transmission of vibrations more. So if you're going to go through the trouble of torifying a top and dealing with all of this historic bracing patterns and everything, you want to use the type of glue that they would have used, because then you get the transmission through the instrument like it would have done back in the day. So
yeah, well, I think it is great. And from a company that often frustrates us in some ways, then they throw us something like this, which makes us fanboys again. But
I love Gibson, and I'd like to. I have two. I'd like to add a third to my collection.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I mean, we're all big fans of the guitars. When we're talking about frustration, it plays into the PSA that we're about to say next, which is,
if you'd like to buy this guitar,
give us a call.
Yeah, or come into our store.
Come into the store, chat with us. Won't have a buy button on the website, but you can see the photos of it on the website and watch the video, read all the specs, make sure it's the one, and then ask us any questions you have left, and we will send it to you.
I think we should have a buy button right to your congressman.
Yeah, right to your congressman, all right?
But that being said, you know, this is, I don't know, guitars like this make me, you know, long for yesteryear when you'd walk into a store and it'd have a paper hang tag and you'd say that one off the wall, let me try that. Okay, I'll take it.
That's kind of like how our store is now.
Yeah, in a lot of ways. except for all of you wonderful people that give us a call or buy on our website, which we really appreciate because it helps keep the doors open. So we can show you wonderful instruments like this. We didn't even talk about the Tiger Stripe pickguard, which is my favorite.
It fits for the era.
That's like the best pickguard.
It doesn't work on everything. Some new school fellows are trying to throw that on there and make it look good, but on this, that's what it's made for.
It looks killer.
Yeah.
Wonderful guitar. So again, if you want more information about it, you can go to our website at alamomusic.com. We'll have photos, all the specifications. You can chat with someone live on the website. Sometimes it's Cooper or myself or someone else. And if you want to purchase it, you can't do that on the website, but we'll be glad to sell you this one or one just like it if you give us a call or come in. Or again, just chat with us. We can figure it out.
Yep.
So, if you're new to our channel and you like guitar stuff, you want to make sure that you subscribe, turn on notifications, like our videos. Keep coming back for more. We'll see you next time.